In today's video, I'm going to share with you 5 super affordable DIYs for fall that are perfect for your home. Keep watching. Hello everyone, welcome back to Ramon at Home. I'm so excited you're here today because in today's video, I'm going to share with you 5 super affordable and easy fall DIYs for 2023. I've been waiting for this moment to share with you brand new fall decorating ideas and DIYs, and there's going to also be a playlist down in the description box below with all of the past fall decorating DIYs and ideas so you can catch up and be inspired to create something beautiful this fall season. So if you are interested in fall decorating ideas, they are super affordable and easy to make. Please stay tuned. Don't forget to like this video and share with your friends because it is free and it really helps this channel. And if you are already subscribed, don't forget to turn the notification bell on because you will not want to miss what's coming up next for fall and for the Christmas season 2023. So if you are ready to get started with these fall decorating ideas and DIYs that are super affordable and easy to make, let me take you to the studio and let's get started. All right, everyone, so for our very first fall DIY, we're going to be making this beautiful candlestick with a pumpkin, and it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. But the materials we're going to need is going to be some of these eucalyptus from David Christopher's that I already pre-cut to save us some time. I'm also going to use some of these mom flowers from the at-home store. I'm going to use some fall foliages that I already had on my stash. I'm going to use a cream pumpkin. I'm going to use some burlap ribbon, and any burlap ribbon will do. I just like these little rolls. They're affordable, so that's what I like to use, and it has a really good wire. I'm going to use a wire, of course, some florist tape. I'm going to use some of my clear tape, some skewers, some mini pumpkins that are wrapped in sweater material, of course, a beautiful candlestick, a piece of foam. I'm going to use my wire cutters and my scissors. And then also I'm gonna use a little white cloth because when you are using a glass against something that is hard, you can break your glass, and especially this mercury glass seems to be a little bit more delicate. All right, so I'm just gonna move all of it to the side because it'll be easier to just go ahead and get started with this. So I'm gonna move everything that I don't need right now over to this side so we can make this the center of attention. So you know what I like to do is all of my tools to one side and all of my materials to the next. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to secure this candlestick. And to do that, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and take it out of the little plastic wrapper. I usually tell you to leave the plastic wrapper, but that is if this foam is the one that crumbles. This is more of a hard foam. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna place it, and look how perfect that fits into my candlestick, right? So that's perfect. If you are not gonna use your candlesticks for any other reasons, but for this project, then I would say go ahead and glue it. But because these are my candlesticks that I like to use during the holiday season, then I'm just gonna go ahead and tape it. And for that, I'm gonna get some of this clear tape. This clear tape is a florist tape that you can find at your local Hobby Lobby. That's where I got mine, or anywhere where you find florist supplies. And so basically what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna go around my perimeter once, then I'm gonna cut right here, and that's going to secure our candlestick in place. And it'll be easy to peel it off. As you guys can see, it'll hold it. And then a secret is to just fold the tip of your tape so that way you're not like looking for your tape when you are using it. So there you go. So that's number 1. So step number 2 will be to add our pumpkin. And for that, I already pre-secured it. But you know what? I think it's a little too tall, so I'm gonna cut those a little bit shorter. I wanna make sure that it goes all the way down and it's secure. Once again, if you are making this perhaps for a centerpiece or for a dinner party, I really do recommend to go ahead and just put a little dab of glue. But since I'm not doing that, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go ahead and put my pumpkin down. Look how easy that went in. So easy, right? And so I think that's as far down as it'll go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab, you know what, I'm gonna first grab some of these beautiful eucalyptus from David Christopher's. And remember, you guys, that you get extra 10% off with the code Ramon10 on their website. So I recommend to go shop it. It's not just for Christmas, it's all throughout the website. All you have to do is at checkout do the code Ramon10. And just so you know, I am not getting paid for it. I'm just they were gracious enough to allow us to give you that discount. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start right here. So I'm going to go right here to my right, and remember what happens on the right happens on the left. Then I'm gonna spin a little bit, and I love my Lazy Susan for that reason. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the bottom. So I'm gonna go, what happens on the right happens on the left. What goes up must come down. And the reason you wanna do this is because you want to make sure that you have enough of the material for all of your project. And so I'm going to do a crisscross right here. So as you guys can see, it's all the way around. And so now with the ones that I have left, and this is just one pick of this beautiful eucalyptus. It's almost like a real touched eucalyptus. It looks so real, and it feels absolutely beautiful in your hand. It has a really good hand. So you just go around your pumpkin, and look at that. You're creating this cascading beautiful motion. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some of these beautiful picks, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them all at once. Remember, I like to do that just to save us some money. Thumbs up if you guys are enjoying this fall series. Remember, so far the first fall series video that we did was a beautiful centerpiece using a cream pumpkin, and then I did a wreath. I showed you how to do a beautiful bow with 4 types of ribbons. Then I shared with you how to do I think we did another wreath, and then we did a large centerpiece. And all of those videos for the fall season are going to be linked down below so you guys can catch up. And there's more coming your way, so I really do hope that you are as excited as I am for the fall season. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna start filling in my perimeter of my pumpkin like this. And you know what, some of them are too long, so just grab your snippers, as I like to call them, my snippers. And what we're going to do is we're gonna start filling in this pumpkin. And let me tell you, fall is one of my favorite seasons of the year because of the smells and the colors. When I lived in Kansas, I love telling this story, but when I lived in the Midwest, I used to go running all the time, and my favorite time to run outside was during the fall because you get all of the smells and all of the season changes. Like there was this beautiful trail that I used to jog at, and during the fall season, there was evergreens and there was trees, and so the smell of the evergreen with the fall foliage, I wish I can bottle that up and sell you a candle because that was such a beautiful smell. So basically what I'm doing is I'm just going all the way around, and I'm just inserting some of these beautiful foliages like this, trying to cover as much as I can of my foam like this. Look how easy this is, you guys, and look how elegant this is, and it can make your home look. This would be perfect for an entryway table. Imagine this with some photographs right here. I'll show you at the end of this video what it's going to look like. It also could be perfect for a centerpiece. So it is a multi-purpose DIY, and this is the kind of DIYs that I love to do, multi-purpose, because you know, you make it once and then you can move it around the home. You know, if you are anything like me, I love to move furniture around. I'm sure you guys have seen here on my channel. I love to create new spaces, and so that's my favorite thing to do. And so multi-purpose DIYs is the way to go because you only spend once, right? And you get to play with it a long time. All right, so I'm gonna go, this is my last one of these, so I'm gonna go right here. All right, so far look how cascading it looks. It was really, really pretty. So now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add some of these white mums from the at-home store. And these are perfect as a filler, and it also has this grass that is gonna allow it to really jump out, and it's gonna add some floral element to it, because I don't like to do a floral arrangement without, well, flowers, right? This is supposed to be a floral arrangement. So basically I'm just going up and down, and look at that. You can do some long ones. Where's my flowers? You can do some short ones. You can just let this be as exciting and as beautiful as you want it to be. And this is what the beautiful thing about floral arrangements, you know, they can be anything you want them to be. So you don't have to really have a specific way of doing it. It's just as long as you love what you're doing, that's what floral arrangements are. Because there's no perfection in nature. Mother Nature does not produce perfect. So therefore, why are we seeking perfection, right? All right, so far so good. So this is what it's looking like. Look how cute this is with the natural fall foliage. So pretty. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the little pumpkins at the end. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on the side. and I want to tie a quick, cute little bow. Something quick and easy, something that is not going to take a lot of time, because we don't want to be spending all of our time doing one particular project, right? So for this particular bow, I'm just gonna cut on an angle. I'm actually gonna dovetail, and I want like a sweet little bow, nothing too overpowering. So basically what I'm going to do is maybe 4 or 5 loops, and look how easy it is. So basically you pinch, twist, I'm gonna do a 3-loop bow with a long tail. That's what I feel like doing. That is the other thing, you guys. You don't have to do the same bow over and over and over again. Let me see if I have a skewer somewhere over here. Yeah, I have one. Sorry if I disappear. But I'm looking at one of these skewers that I use. And so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab my, actually, you know what? I also have a wire over here. I'm gonna grab my wire. I'm gonna pull really tight. And see how this bow really doesn't overpower. And I'll show you in a minute. But first, let me dovetail this end. And what you want to do with wire when you cut it, you guys, you want to leave it that curl, that natural curl that comes on the roll. So to recurl it, just run your fingers through it lightly. And so now I'm going to put this on a skewer like this. Just wrap that rest of that wire, and look, now you have a picked skewer. So I'm going to bring my arrangement back into the picture, but first I have to put my little towel, because if I don't, I'll probably break it. All right, so now how sweet is this cute little bow? So I'm just basically going to look for the perfect space for it, and I think it's going to be right here. Making sure that it goes all the way down like that. Look how adorable that is. All right, so now for my favorite part, I'm going to cut these skewers into half. I'm going to probably cut them, probably this one in 3. Hey, it flew away. One flew over the cuckoo's nest. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some of these cute little pumpkins that have this sweater material, and I'm just going to poke like that. Then I'm going to add some like this, making sure that goes down. There you go. Look how cute, you guys. They are so adorable. They're super tiny. They have some texture, and you can just do like a skew like this. I'm gonna do maybe a set of 2 right here, like that. And then I'm gonna do another one over on this side. So we have, and I'll explain in a second why the placement is like that. So I'm gonna do bow, set of 2, and I'm gonna do one over here. All right, so you have the bow, a set of 2, and a 1 over here, because remember, you want to do that triangle motion to have balance. All right, I'm gonna have one more item added to this bouquet, but I'm gonna go get it because I forgot, and I'll be right back. Keep watching. All right, you guys, so I am back. The last thing I wanted to add to this arrangement is some of this Spanish moss, because you might be able to see some of the green of the foam. So what you want to do is you want to look for places like that, and then you want to stick some of this foam. And it's pretty if you let it drip down, because it does look more natural. So basically just open a spot, and then just with your finger tuck it in, and it will get tucked in into all of the greeneries, because Spanish moss has a tendency to just latch on to things that is near. So I'm gonna add one right here, right next to my pumpkin. See, and that covers all of that greenery. I'm gonna step away from it to make sure that I don't see any more. Yes, that is. Let me get this ready, and I'll give you a close-up real quick. Keep watching. All right, so I wanted to give you a quick peek and close-up to this beautiful arrangement. It is super easy to make, you guys. This is how easy it is to decorate for the fall season, and I really hope that you would give it a try. It is nothing but a pumpkin, some foliages, a little bit of this burlap ribbon, and some of these beautiful flowers right here. You put a set of pictures on the side, as you guys can see, and it really does create that beautiful feel. This can be put on your entryway table, on your coffee table, perhaps even if you have a bigger bedroom, on your bedside table. And I really do think that adds that beautiful fall decorating feel to your stay, and then also to the whole room. I cannot wait to read your comments, so leave me a comment down below and let me know, what do you think? Okay, before we continue with our next DIY, speaking of multi-purpose, I wanted to share with you how easy it is to transition from the pumpkin that we made this beautiful arrangement to adding an actual candle. Look how absolutely beautiful this is. If you have one of these remote operated, all you have to do is turn it on and you got yourself a beautiful dual DIY for your fall decorating. And this is absolutely gorgeous, super easy to make, and I really hope that you enjoyed it. Who knew that decorating a candlestick could be so much fun, right? Let me tell you, this particular super affordable fall DIY is something that anyone can create because who doesn't have a candlestick laying around the house? So just grab that candlestick, put some foam in it, and go crazy with your creativity, and you'll be surprised how beautiful this beautiful fall DIY will turn out. All right, so let's move on to our next super affordable fall DIY, and that's going to be something big, something large, and super gorgeous that I really think you're going to enjoy. Let's take a look. All right, everyone, so for our next fall DIY, I figured that we'd do something big, exciting, and beautiful for your fall decorating. This can be for a mantelpiece, an entryway table, or for outdoors, but I just think that it's going to be so much fun. And then also it can be scaled down if you wanted to use it somewhere around the house. But I do happen to have this urn that I got for a Christmas tree, and I'm gonna center on my Lazy Susan. And I already put a foam filled terracotta pot on the inside that fits right in. That's gonna help me with my mechanics. And so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab some of this foam from the dollar store, and we're gonna put that in there. I'm also gonna be using my pumpkin, but the start of this show is going to be this urn this urn or lantern or orb or whatever you wanna call it. This I got from a local store in Kansas called Nail Hills a few years ago. But I know the Shinoda Design Center also sells this. They're called orbs, and look how fun this is going to be. All right, so let's get started because it's gonna be a lot of fun, and I just wanna make sure, and I love that they're collapsible like that for storage. It's super easy. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab maybe 3 skewers, and I'm gonna put this piece of foam right here because I want to elevate the orb further up. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab my skewer and I'm gonna go down on this right here as far down as I can, and that's gonna help us secure our foam all the way down. So I'm gonna do like a triangle like this, and you also wanna do it kind of sideways, and that's gonna hold that foam into place. Now the next thing is going to be to add our orb, but for that what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab some of my 20 gauge wire. I'm gonna grab 2 of them. And then this is called mechanics, you guys. When you work as a florist, you better know how to use mechanics because you do a job for a client and you don't want it to come crashing down, right? So I'm gonna use 4 of these wires. I cut it in 2, so now I'm gonna fold it in half like this. So I'm gonna do kind of like a bobby pin, and this is gonna help us secure our orb to the foam. I used to have a boss, the gentleman who taught me everything, that his motto said, there is no problem in life you cannot fix with a 20 gauge wire. We use 20 gauge wire all throughout the shop all the time, and it really is a lifesaver when you work as a florist or as a designer. All right, so now we're going to open our orb. So you have to make sure that you go whatever each way this guy is telling you to go. And then what I'm going to do is, first I'm gonna insert my pumpkin because we can then work it out later, but first I have to make sure that this orb is in place. You know what, I'm gonna go like this. No, you have to find a secure way. So I'm gonna go like this, I'm gonna place it right here. And so now what I'm going to do is, with my 20 gauge wire, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab and place those like that. I'm gonna spin around one more time to secure this other side. So I'm just going through the orb, as you guys can see. And look, that's gonna hold it in. And you wanna do at least 4 to really make sure that it's secure and into place. And look at that, it's not going to go anywhere. Like that. This one's not going down. There we go, like this. One more, and at the same time you kind of want to play with your orb to make sure that she is in place. I'm gonna add this one right here, like this. See, and I could almost pick up the whole thing just because those wires are gonna hold everything into place. So now I'm gonna grab my pumpkin and I'm gonna secure it into place as well. Going like that. And look how cute, it's a pumpkin inside an orb. So now I'm gonna get all my foliages and flowers and I'll be right back with you. All right, so now that we have all of our foliages, what we wanna make sure is that we really spread them out. And so what I'm gonna start doing is I'm gonna start poking and inserting these foliages and going all the way around. Remember, what happens on the left happens on the right. So you have to continue to spin whatever it is that you're working on to give it that balance. And then also when you're spreading your foliages, make sure that some go down, some go up, because we want to cover some of that white foam as much as possible. And so I'm gonna do the 4 corners right here. These are such a great filler for any arrangement that is going to go outside. Look how beautiful that is so far. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab some of these foliages from Walmart and I'm gonna go ahead and cut them all at once, because this is what's gonna help us really fill in all of this right here. So I'm gonna grab this guy right here and I'm just gonna, look at that, fill in between all of that foliage. And all you wanna do is cover your foam to make sure that there is no foam visible. And to do that, all you have to do is push this foliage as far in and that'll cover your foam very well. Look at that, you wouldn't even see any of it. And you want to intertwine it as well. Oh, this one has a tag. How dare I have? You know, I'm really trying to be better at prepping, you guys, but there's always just something that escapes me because I have to do so many DIYs that I really just cannot get them all, but it's okay. All right, so one more right there. Look how fun this is, you guys. Super easy, affordable, and this will look really beautiful outside. So now what I'm going to is I'm gonna add some of these white sunflowers and I'm just gonna go ahead and add them, one right here. I'm gonna do a triangle. So you basically have to divide all the flowers that you have. Then I'm gonna put the other one right over here and do a triangle because a triangle shape is the most pleasing to the eye. So you wanna make sure that you do that. And so now I have some of these mums. I'm gonna cut them all at once, like that. And I wanna use all of them to fill in. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab some of these mums and just fill in my container like that. And because they're so small, you wanna do like 2 at a time. So that way they show better. Instead of feeling polka dotted, as you guys can see right here, it does look more intentional by doing 2 at a time. And you wanna do it between sunflowers. You don't wanna get too close. And I'll share with you in a second what I mean. So I'm gonna put 2 right here. You can even do 3. Actually, I'm gonna do 3 to make it look like a bigger mum flower like that. See how I have a sunflower right here up? Then I have that cluster that I just right here. I have a sunflower and then I have a cluster right here. So those are all that I'm going to use. But you know what? I'm gonna do sets of 3s where I did 2s just so it looks better, more filled in. Let's see, where else can I put another one? I'm gonna put another one right here. All right, so far so good, but I do think that what this is going to need is a larger bow. And because we did a bow on our first fall DIY, well, we're gonna do one for this guy as well. And it is super simple. Let me grab my wire right here and I'm gonna grab, this was a leftover stem that I literally just picked up from the trash. So I'm gonna cut it into 2 and so that's now gonna be our stem. But look how easy. So for this bow, I do want a bigger tail because remember it's more proportionate. And I was gonna use all of these ribbons. So I do want the loops to be a little bit bigger. Remember the other bow was smaller because you do want to be proportionate to your arrangement. And the beauty of this is that you can just do as many as you want. Let's see. I can do 3 in a long tail, or yeah, I'm gonna do 3 in a long tail. So basically a 3 loop bow grab your wire, put it through, pinch, twist. Remember when you're doing a bow, if you don't know how to make a bow, remember our second video for the fall season was how to make a beautiful bow, DIY. So I'm gonna just link it down below as I said earlier, and you guys can learn how to make a bow. So basically just grab the leftover like that. So now we have a longer stem. I'm gonna grab this right here and I'm gonna go all the way down. And look, by pushing all the way down, I feel like this is too long, of course, so I'm gonna cut probably right about here. And then of course, like I said, just run that finger to let it curl like that. And look how cute this is, you guys. This could be perfect for outside. This could be perfect for an entryway table. The herb really has an impact. I love it, and I think that it's absolutely gorgeous. Super easy to make, and something that can really make a statement this fall season. All right, well, I'm gonna get ready for our next DIY, and I really hope that you are enjoying this video. And if you are, be sure to give the video a thumbs up because that is free and it really helps the channel as I go get ready for our third fall DIY. Keep watching. I absolutely love the way this urn turned out, you guys. That orb really makes a statement. And can you imagine a set of two, one each at the side of the door? It would be so gorgeous this fall season. But if you've been following the channel, you know that I love to decorate a lantern. So for our next super affordable fall DIY, I'm gonna share with you how to decorate a beautiful lantern in 3 easy steps. Let's take a look. All right, everyone, so for this next fall DIY idea for you, we're going to do a lantern. If you've been following the channel, you know that I am a lantern freak and I love to decorate a lantern for the seasons. Well, this is not going to be the exception. So let's get right into it. The very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add this candlestick down into my lantern. I'm gonna open it real quick. And I'm going to add this guy right here in the middle. And then I'm going to add all of these little pumpkins that are going to serve as a filler. I picked some of the leather ones, some of the sweater ones. Sorry if the noise is too loud, but I just have to make sure that I put all of these cute little pumpkins down in there, and that's gonna be our filler for this gorgeous lantern. Leave me a comment down below and let me know if you are a lantern decorator like I am. Make sure that these ones are put like that. Look how cute. That is just a whole bunch of pumpkins. So I'm gonna close this real quick. I'll bring a candle in a minute. But now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna move over this guy to this side, and I'm going to move all of my materials to this side so I can move my lantern a little bit this way so that I can work on the top of the lantern. All right, so for the top of the lantern, I'm gonna use, talking about tags again, some of these David Christopher's maple tag. I think it's a maple. You know, I ordered this a long time ago. I did a shopping haul. It doesn't say. I did a shopping haul when I bought all of these things from them, and I think I did say on the receipt what it was. I think it is a maple. We'll call it a maple. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab 2 of them. I'm gonna go crisscross like that. But since this one is too long, I'm gonna cut it a little bit shorter like this. So I'm gonna go like this. I want it to be kind of like so. All right, and so now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add this twig to the back. I'm gonna add one right here. So I'm gonna grab, remember, wherever your hand holds, that is your core. I'm always telling you guys to never let go of the core because that's where all of it radiates from. So that's what it's gonna look like. Oh, that's pretty. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna cut some of these berries. This is gonna be super simple. You know what? I'm gonna cut all my flowers all at once as well. That way it is easier to operate. So I'm gonna grab some of the berries and I'm gonna go one up and one down. Remember, what goes up must come down without letting go of my core right here. Then I'm gonna grab some of these beautiful mums that we used on all of the DIYs. And that is a perfect way to keep it all cohesive, you guys. Just use the same materials that you're using. So that way your DIYs and your whole home is cohesive. And so now I'm gonna go over to the other side. Remember, they have to go to both sides, to the left and to the right. And then I'm gonna go like this and like this. So basically just creating a next pattern that's how you want to treat your arrangement right here. So once you have it all like this, look how cute that's going to be. What I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab a zip tie. Yeah, I'm gonna grab a clear one. And I'm gonna zip tie all of this together to make sure that it all stays put into place. And I always stress the importance of having all of your tools at the ready, because that way it is way faster to work. So now that we have it all secured, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna cut the excess of all of that. And so that's gonna be our swag, but I'm going to put this right here to the side. I'm gonna lay this down because, well, we have to make a bow. As I mentioned to you before, the best way to have a cohesive home, whether it's for fall or the holidays, is to just use all of the materials. Pick up a color scheme. In this case, we picked the browns and the creams, and then go with that and buy all the materials. They don't have to be the same materials, but they can be on the same family and hues and colors. So that way, when your home is fully decorated, well, you have a beautifully decorated home. And that is something that I learned from a designer friend of mine, and she used to call it wrap the color around. And she explained to me that as you travel, as somebody's, she was an interior designer, so she's like, I always like to wrap the color around. And I said, what does that mean? She's like, well, she's like, when you go through somebody's home, and then without even knowing, your eye kind of tells you that this home is very cohesive because somebody took the time to buy the same materials, the same colors, the same shapes, the same textures, and put it all throughout the house. I was like, oh wow, that's amazing. So for this, I'm gonna do a 4-loop bow, but I wanna show you a trick real quick. So I have a long tail like this, right? So I'm gonna go down, I want a tail about that long. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna go twice the length, like this. So it's gonna be like I have 2. And so now I'm gonna pinch that right here, like that. And I'm gonna cut a little one right here. So I'm gonna cut this guy right there. So now I'm gonna put my wire through. I don't know if I ever show you guys this trick I learned also a long time ago. Let me make sure that all of it is under right here. So pull your wire back. And you could also use a zip tie if it is easier for you. Just because I've been using wires now, I usually use a zip tie. All right, so see how you have this big tail right here? So what we're going to do is we're gonna cut it in half, and then we're going to dovetail both of them at the same time. And so now you have both of your tails. You have a tail that goes up and an extra cute little tail. So it's a very taily bow. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my swag and I'm gonna insert my bow. And look how cute this is, you guys. So I'm gonna open all of these tails and I'm gonna wrap this guy around the back and twist very tightly. And so I'm going to go get my candle before I install this, and I'll be right back. Keep watching. All right, so this is the front of my lantern. So now what I want to do is I want to measure where I want my swag, as you guys can see. So now what we're going to do is we're going to wrap this whole wire around our lantern, and that's going to give us a longer wire to secure our lantern to our swag. I'm going to finish this and I'll be right back with you and show you the end result. Keep watching. All right, so we have left to do is turn our candle on, and look, you guys, how absolutely gorgeous this cute lantern is. This could be perfect for an entryway table, for a side table, whatever you are putting this beautiful lantern together. Remember to pass your finger through the wire, and look how absolutely gorgeous it looks like. It is super easy to make. If I can do it, so can you. And all you need is a cute lantern, a candle, some filler pumpkins, only 2 stems of foliages, a few mums and berries, and then also this beautiful burlap ribbon that it has been the inspiration for the whole theme, and I just absolutely love it. But I cannot wait to read your comments, so be sure to leave me a comment down below. Let me know which of these DIYs is your favorite so far, but there's more to come. But if you have made it this far in the video, be sure to give the video a thumbs up and also share with your friends because it is free and it really helps the channel. All right, well, I'm gonna get ready for our next fall DIY, so stay tuned. As you can see, decorating a lantern is super easy and you can display it on your entryway table, your mantle, a sofa table, or even your coffee table. And if you are entertaining outdoors, it is a great tool to decorate and make a statement. I really hope that you give this a try and find out for yourself how easy it really is to make this super affordable and impactful fall DIY. But for our next DIY for fall, what we're going to do is we're gonna go into the vault and I'm gonna share with you how to create perhaps the most gorgeous fall wreath DIY that I think I've ever created on this YouTube channel. And before we do that, I want to ask you the question of the day, and that's going to be, what is your favorite decorating tool for the fall season? For me, it's between the wreath and the lantern. But let's take a look now at this beautiful and affordable fall wreath DIY for fall 2023. All right, so I have cut all of my greenery that I'm going to use, both the eucalyptus and the maple. And so I'm gonna start by telling you about the wire, you guys. You cannot do this step, but I always recommend, first of all, you have to find the wreath shape that you like the best. So I'm gonna probably go, probably like that. So what you need to do is grab your wire, and then you're gonna get some of this florist tape that you can find at any floral supplier. It has this tacky wax in it, and you pull a little bit on it. And what you need to do is you need to cover this wire with this florist tape, because that's what we're gonna use to hang it from the door. And look, you pull and you basically spin, you pull, you spin, pull with what hand, spin the other one. You want to make sure that it's all covered on this. They already sell them already covered. So if you go to like Hobby Lobby or Michael's, I'm sure you can find them already covered, but because I don't have any, I have to cover them myself. So there's that extra step. So what we're going to do is we're gonna grab our wreath and we're gonna go through right here, and we wanna go back, and very tightly we're going to wrap this wire. You do not want to miss this step, you guys, because that's what you're gonna use to hang it on your door. So you wanna also grab back and then just start spinning that wire around, and you give yourself this extra hanger right here. But for the video purposes, we're gonna do that because I need you to see the whole thing. All right, I'm super excited because I haven't gotten to use my hot glue gun in a long time. So what I'm going to do is, you know that I like to use one foliage at a time, and I always like to fluff them. So what you need to do is grab your hot glue gun, get it ready, and then you want to make sure that, first of all, it's working. All right, see, I haven't used it in so long that it's not even working. And I'm gonna start right here on the top, and we wanna make sure that we glue this together because it's going to be outside. So we wanna make sure that those elements don't get to our wreath. Remember, what happens on the right happens on the left, and what goes up must come down. So make sure you open all of this and you add some glue right here. Are you guys as excited as I am for fall? I don't know where y'all from, and be sure to leave me a comment down below, but it's been super hot here in California, and I am ready for some cooler weather, and that is something that fall always delivers, so I'm really excited. Now, I want to mention real quick, especially if you make this to sell, when you are adding your greeneries, you have to go all in one motion. I say clock motion or counterclock, pick one, but you don't want to go like that and then go like that, because it kind of breaks that pattern, okay? I'll give you a lesson, and I've already told you this before, but what wreaths are is, in ancient Greece, what they used to do is used to grab a garland and then they tie it at one end. So of course they did that spindle. I'm gonna get my hot glue gun. That spindle motion that we always see on those pictures, because they just grab a garland and they tied it. How smart were those Greeks, right? And so that's why you want to make sure that you always go on one continuous motion when you are designing a wreath. It just looks pleasing to the eye. I learned that at the flower shop where I worked. My ex-boss taught me so much. I would not be where I am without that gentleman, and I always like to tell people that, because you know you pay dues to who deserves them, and he sure taught me so much. Just how I teach you, everything that I teach you is because he taught me. So thank you so much. All right, so we're gonna continue to go. And then also you wanna make sure that you go up and down, especially at this point right here, and the corners. You wanna make sure that you have some up and then some down, some in and some out. Like right here, I'm gonna go ahead and put one up, but I have to put it this way. You know what, I'm enjoying gluing with a glue gun. Do you have a glue gun or do you have a glue pen? How many of you have a glue pen? Leave me a comment down below and let me know if you have a glue pen and if you think it's easier with a glue pen. I think it's way easier because all you have to do is dip. However, it is way messier. It is cleaner with a hot glue gun. So I really do recommend. Now the other thing I don't like about the hot glue gun is because, well, you run out of glue real quick. Like right now, I already have to insert another one. I'm gonna use all these little ones that I had because, well, I already have them. Oh, I still have some. So all right, and make sure that you cut all of your foliages and use all of it on your designs. You don't want to leave any of your foliage. I'm gonna add one right here. This is gonna be so pretty, guys, with all of the bows. We're gonna do so many bows and so much glitter. I love glitter. How many of you like glitter? I'm gonna go up here, and you see how I did all one motion, like all one right here. Sometimes you have to stay away from this so you can see where do you need some, and I feel like I need here and here, so that's where I'm going to focus. So I'm gonna come down here and fill in that gap, and I have one more of this guy right here, so I'm gonna go ahead and fill in this gap right here. Okay, so now that we're done with this foliage, like that, I'm gonna move on to the next one, which is going to be this beautiful eucalyptus, but I think I do need my hot glue gun. Oh, there you go. I have a whole bunch of these little pieces that I bought a long time ago. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and put that one right there. And these ones are a little too long and I don't want them to really overpower, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut them in half. That way you get more anyways, and it doesn't overpower that other greenery. Look at that, how pretty. So now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do like 2 at a time, and I'm gonna go on a glue or in a counter motion. So I'm gonna speed up this real quick for you guys so you don't have to watch me glue every single piece. So I'll be right back, keep watching. All right, so we have finished our wreath, our greening of our wreath, and I love it. I have let it sit for a few minutes so that glue really sits in and it gets tacky and will be permanent. So the next step will be to add some ribbons and some bows to our wreath. And as I told you before, I am obsessed with this beautiful pumpkin ribbon and then also this glitter ribbon. But the way I want to do it, oh, this is going to be so much fun. I'm so excited. I hope you are as well. I want to give it a few tails, probably about 6-inch tail, and then I want to do a few of these bows. So I'm gonna do probably about a 6-inch loop. We're gonna do 3-inch loops, all right? So, and then we're gonna give it another tail. We're gonna grab a wire, and then we're going to twist it, and then we're gonna grab our scissors and we're going to cut right here, and then we're gonna put it aside. I'm gonna do another one. So basically about a 5-inch loop. I wanna do 3, and look how quick this can be done, you guys. You don't have to really take all that time to make these bows because, well, you don't have to. It doesn't have to be perfect. I continue to tell you that, you know, perfection doesn't exist. Mother Nature has not made one tree that is perfect, so therefore I don't know why we're looking to achieve perfection when the imperfection sometimes can be more beautiful than something that we perceive as perfect. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna drop that glitter one, and then also I'm gonna do, oh my gosh, this ribbon is so gorgeous. I'm gonna do with this one probably about 6 to 7 inch loops. And for this particular one, I'm gonna do 2 loop bows. I'm gonna do 3 because why not? Oh my God, it's so beautiful. Look how gorgeous this is. And then I'm going to grab my wire and I'm gonna wire it together like this. And I'm gonna give it another loop. I'm sorry, another tail. And then I'm gonna put it over here. And we're gonna do one more. So about 4 inch tail. We pinch, we gather, we fluff. And as you guys can see, I want to do this on real time. So you guys see how fast to put a beautiful wreath together. It really is. You don't have to take all of this time to put a wreath together, especially if you're doing it to sell, you guys. Your money is in your time. I always continue to tell people that I've coached before for their businesses, you are as good as you are fast. So therefore, we have got to learn to work a little bit faster because our money is our time. All right, I have enough for another one. So I'm gonna do yet another one over here. I'm gonna pinch. Are you guys having fun? I'm having so much fun. Oh, I was waiting for the fall season to start because I love it so much and I have so many ideas, you guys. And I want to take a second to thank you for watching all of the Christmas in July that we did. There's going to be a lot more Christmas coming your way later on in the year, but right now we have to take a pause, take a step back and do some fall because, well, fall will be here very soon. So I just wanted to give you these ideas in case you want to decorate your house, in case that you're making this to sell. Well, let's get a head start. And let me tell you, I was at the stores and there's a lot of pretty stuff out. And if we wait, you know, it won't be there longer. So get out there and shop while you can. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to add one up here on the top. And for this one, I left a little bit longer of a tail and I'm just going to find the place. I want it to be right in the center. So I'm going to go through my hook that we made on the back. And then I'm going to attach right here. And I'm just going to go ahead and spin it around. And then I'll go back later on and then I'll cut those ribbons. So I'm going to add one right there. Then I'm going to do a glitter one. And I'm going to add one right here, right next to it. I'm going to go all the way back, making sure that I attach very tightly. Oy. Sometimes it's hard because all of this foliage, but just make sure that you go like this and then you go all the way back. I'm going to move all the way over here so I can do it because it has to be really tight so it doesn't come crashing down. There you go. And then we're going to fluff that like this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to this side. Sorry if I disappear, but I have to go over to this side. And then we're going to add this guy, skipping all of this beautiful foliage like this. And I'm going to attach this guy right there. Then I'm going to grab one of my pumpkin ribbons, and while I'm on this side, I'm going to go ahead and attach another one over here. I'm going to give it a little bit of a space because there's going to be some pumpkins that are going to come into play. So I want to make sure that I have space for them in between the bows. But I also do want to make sure that all of these are very tightly secure on the back, like this. And we'll go back and cut those dovetails, you guys. Then I'm going to move over to this side and I'm going to go about 6 inches further down, and then I'm going to attach this guy right here. How beautiful is this looking? All right, so I'm going to attach this really tight, like this. And I have this other one that I'm going to put right here. Yeah, right here, almost to the middle. And I'm going to attach really tight, like that. All right, so give me a second while I dovetail all of these tails and I'll be right back. Keep watching. Okay, so far I've added the greenery and then I added all of these bows all scattered throughout the wreath, and I dovetail every single ribbon, and that was a lot of them. So the next step is going to be to add some of these beautiful pumpkins, and for that I have gathered some of these skewers, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch a hole on them, and then also what I want to do is I want to make sure that I add some hot glue to these stakes, so that way when it goes down, it'll stay right there. So you want probably about a 3-inch leadway so you can have your pumpkin. So basically just poke it like that, stick it out and add some glue to it. That's gonna make sure that that's permanent and that stake is not going anywhere. And I'm gonna do the same to these two right here that come on a package. Perfect. All right, so I'm gonna start with this one, and what I'm going to do is I'm gonna find a place for it. I'm gonna put it right here, so you kind of have to step back and see where you want it. Once you put the glue in it, make sure that you take your greenery and then you push it in like that. That's gonna stay like that. All right, and then let me see, I'm gonna add one over here on the top. And just make sure that that glue goes all the way down on your stake. You can smear it. And then I'm gonna open right here. I'm gonna add it right in here, like that. So that's 1, 2. I'm going to add this larger one. Let's see, where do I want this larger one? I think I want it right about, I wanna have 2 together, but I don't know exactly where. So I'm gonna put it down here on the bottom. Remember, there's going to be some floral still, but you always want to make sure that you put your larger items first. I'm going to add it right here, like that. Yes, that's pretty. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and I have one left. So, you know what? I'm going to put it right here with these 3. So I have 3. No, so I'm going to do some small ones right here. I'm going to add it up here. And once again, all you have to do is step back and see where it needs to go. So I'm gonna lift up this guy right here, and I'm gonna insert right here. Look how pretty that is. 2, 1, and then I'm going to grab some of these little ones. Oh, I'm so excited. This is turning out better than I thought. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and one that fell. I'm gonna disappear for a second. And so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab this guy right here and go all the way in, pull it out, bring some glue, and I'm gonna do them as I go. So now I'm going to add some glue to this, and I'm gonna add this guy, put it right here with this one, like that. Look how cute these are, you guys. Put a hole in it. This is probably one of my favorite wreaths that I've ever done, just because it's so different. Okay, we're gonna put some glue in there, and I'm gonna add one right about here. Look at that. At the end, we're gonna turn it around and we're gonna clip all of those stems that might be, this is another way you can do it, just add some glue and then add the stake. It's basically the same. All right, so now I'm gonna add this one right here with these ones, like that. And I don't think it needs these 2, although, you know what, I'm gonna put one right here. I'm gonna cut this guy in half, and then I'm gonna add this guy right here, add some glue, and I think I'm gonna put it right about here with this one, like that. And I have this one that I think it would be really cute right here, so I'm gonna add this guy. Are you learning something? I'm so excited, you guys. My favorite thing about making these videos is when I read your comments and you tell me that you learned a new trick or that you've never seen that done before, because my only goal for this channel is to really just teach you, inspire you, and to hopefully entertain you at the same time. So I'm super excited that you are learning something. All right, so that's all of the pumpkins. Look how beautiful that looks. I'm gonna get my florals ready and I'll be right back. Keep watching. Okay, so now we're going to add our beautiful roses that are made out of burlap and some lilies. This is turning out more beautiful than I thought, and I'm super stoked. So what we're going to do is we're gonna cut some of these flowers. Now pay attention, we cut the flower and then we have some cute little foliage. Well, I'm also gonna cut that because I wanna use as much as I can for my product, because well, already, like I told you earlier, you just paid for it, so why not just go ahead and use all of it. All right, so what I'm going to do is get these tags, and always get your tags ready. I'm gonna start with this one just to show you. So what I want you to do is get your rose and then give it a little curvature like this. And we're gonna start inserting these flowers. Now before we add some of this hot glue right here. Now a lot of people ask me what hot glue I use. If I'm using my hot glue pen, there's a pellet glue that I like. But if I'm using this hot glue gun, then I like the Gorilla Glue because I think it's the best. So then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some of this cute little foliage. Right where I put that flower, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add somewhere near there, I'm gonna add some of this foliage because you wanna make sure that you support that flower with the foliage. You might not see it, but you know when you move around, you'll be able to see it, and it just makes sense that there's some of the foliage. All right, so I'm gonna add another one right here. I'm gonna give it a curvature, and from that curvature up, I'm gonna go ahead and add some glue, and I'm gonna come back out here and just add one right there. Remember, we'll fluff all these ribbons at the end. And then I'm gonna grab a chocolate one, because there's two tones. So we'll make sure that we cut this guy like that. Then we'll give it a curvature and add some glue right there. And I'm gonna come with this one right here where the pumpkin is. Make sure that I insert this guy right here. And you have to make sure that it goes into the form. I just burned myself a little bit. You guys didn't see me scream. I almost screamed, it was so hot. All right, so now I'm gonna grab this guy right here. And at this point, the reason why I'm burning myself is because there's so much foliage around that you have to really dig in there to be able to put your stems. I'll show you like this right here. I have to dig in, and then you have to make sure that you put in your flower like that. And for this one, I'm gonna add some of this foliage that I told you earlier. And I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of glue, fluff this guy, and then insert this foliage right here with that rose. See, and it's just a little pop of greenery that is different, then it really does make sense. All right, so now I'm gonna add one up here. And I'm gonna add this guy right behind my pumpkin. Then I'm gonna grab all of this beautiful green foliage, give them a fluff, and add right somewhere around there. Like this. See, it just makes sense, that little pop of green. I'm gonna add one right here as well. I'm gonna cut this tag. Are you guys enjoying these DIYs? Please be sure to share this with your friends, you guys, and let them know what we're doing for fall, and let them know they don't wanna miss the Christmas season this year. There's going to be so many ideas, and I really do think that you are in for a treat this year. We're going big. We are going big for Christmas, and we're going big for fall. And I could not be more excited. All right, so I'm gonna add this guy right there. And now I have to go in with a little bit of this foliage. So make sure you put some glue in there. And I'm gonna lift up my ribbon. And remember, we'll fluff our bows towards the end. All right, so now I'm gonna put this few over here. Then I'm gonna add some lilies because we have them. And these ones, I really want them to fly away. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add some glue right here. And I'm gonna lift up my ribbon right here. I'm gonna come down from the bottom like that. I'm gonna grab yet another one. And I'm gonna come up from the bottom up. Remember to always keep that clock motion so your wreath looks balanced. I'm gonna come back from up here like that. And so now I have another one that I'm going to cut and give him a little curvature so it looks a little bit more natural. And add some glue. And I'm gonna come from this way right here. Like that. And I'm gonna bring another one and add it right here. All right, you guys, so far I love the way this is looking. It's so natural looking. However, I do feel like it needs a little bit of pizzazz, and for that I found this beautiful magnolia that I'm gonna be using on it. And just a few quick tips. Be sure to fluff them so you can see all of this beautiful design forward when you insert your magnolia. And then also, you know what, I'm gonna cut them in half because I feel like, let's see, yeah, so that way you get more. And then It's just a little touch to add that gold. And basically, once again, let's go ahead and give it a curvature, add a little glue, and be careful not to burn yourself again like I just did. I'm gonna lift up all of this right here, then I'm gonna insert like that, and look, that little magnolia just adds so much to the design. So I'm gonna continue to do that. I'm gonna add a little glue right here, and I'm gonna open up right here as well. And this time I'm gonna be really careful, and I'm gonna just go ahead and insert this guy right there and open it like this. Remember, we're gonna fluff all of our ribbons towards the end, because when you add ribbon first, and sometimes you have to add it first, it just really is hard to continue to work without having all of those ribbons a little disheveled, but you always fluff at the end. All right, well, to make this short, I'm gonna continue to do this all throughout the wreath, and I'll be right back with you. Keep watching. All right, everyone, so I just want to show you a close-up of this wreath and how it turned out. I am so in love with this ribbon, you guys. It's jam-packed with glitter, and it goes so well with the lilies and the white pumpkins, and I just love the way they look, how they just fell into the wreath. And the pumpkin ribbon is so absolutely beautiful, and all of these burlap flowers, the roses and the mocha and the chocolate. And the last touch that we added was that magnolia with the gold tips, and it just screams fall. And I really do hope that you guys enjoyed it as much as I did, and that you learned a few tricks. So be sure to leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think. Now, wasn't that gorgeous? You guys, that ribbon with the glitter really does make the wreath stand out. And when the sun hits that ribbon, it just glistens and shines, and it transitions so well into the holiday season. But for our last super affordable fall DIY for this particular video, because there will be more to come, we're going to create a gorgeous centerpiece that you will be wowed and surprised how easy it really is to put together. Let's take a look. All right, everyone, for our last fall DIY, what we're going to do is a gorgeous centerpiece on an ombre style. And this is one of my favorite things to do. When I worked as a florist, making it with fresh flowers was one of my favorite things to do, because you have to gradiate the flowers and make it look ombre, and I just love it. So for that, we're going to use our large wooden base. Now, this is something that I already used, and it had that green moss, but because it is a fall centerpiece, what we're going to do is we're going to change that green moss to a regular color moss, or this gray moss, which to me it's more folly. And you have to be careful with, because this comes with a lot of dust. It's not very clean. Like the one at Walmart, it's washed and dyed to look green, because moss is usually this color. So that's you have to just be careful that not to swallow some of that dust. It's not good for you. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the perimeter like this, and that's going to be our first step, to just cover some of that. And also remember, that helps it to be more aesthetically pleasing. If there is any holes on your arrangement, it just helps you to look more organic, which is what I love. And look how, can you see the dust on that? That is so dusty, but it is what it is, and it does give it a more beautiful look. All right, so far that's good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna put that right there for now. I have all of my flowers, and there's 3 different colors of flowers. I have this like really goldish orange. I have this one that it has the gold orange and the cream, and then also I have these ones that are just cream. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna cut them all at once, but one at a time. So I'm gonna start, actually, you know what, I'm lying to you guys. I also have some foliages, but you know what, let me clean this real quick. I just hate how dusty this gets. All right, so that's gonna be our first flower, but first I'm gonna insert some of the fall foliage that I shared with you on past DIYs. Now I don't want this fall foliage to really take over because I want the flowers to be the ones that really shine through. But what this is going to do is also going to help you hang on to that moss in place. So basically what I'm going to do is just do a few and all of the corners. So basically just do all my corners. I'm gonna save some of this for the end because I want to fill in any gaps that I may have from the flower. So as you guys can see, I just did 2 on each corner, 2 on north and left, or left and right, 2 on the top, and then I'm gonna switch to this other eucalyptus, the one from our friends from David Christopher's. I'm gonna go right here in the middle like this, and then I'm going to go right here facing like that, and then I'm gonna go immediately go across, going like this, and I'm gonna do also the other corner right here. This is how easy it is, you guys, and this is gonna look so beautiful on a table. Okay, so I have ends, both corners facing north and south, and then I'm gonna do maybe one right here on the top. You know what, I have 2 more, so I'm gonna go ahead and put them all on the top right here. Look, and you have your greenery now. So I am going to save some of these guys for the end in case that I need to fill in some gaps for my bouquet. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna cut all of these cream flowers. Remember, I like to cut them and use them all at once. So there's one, and then I'm gonna do the same with this guy right here. Now for this particular bouquet, as I told you earlier, I was a florist for about 15 years. I worked as a florist, and I just love doing this type of bouquets because it is so beautiful. So I'm gonna start with a cream on this side. Let me make sure that I have the right one. Yes, I do have the right one. So I'm gonna start right here, and I want them all to be about the same height. So if you have to cut some of them, feel free to cut. I'm gonna share with you right here. So basically just go ahead and do 3 like that, and then you move on to the next row. You go like that, but remember to keep them at the same height because you want it to be like a pave style right here. So I'm gonna continue going right here. So because we have 3 different types of flowers, we wanna do about 1/3 of this container with the same flower, right? Because we have 3, so it's gonna be 3 sections of the same, and you're gonna see how absolutely gorgeous this is going to be. And just continue on a row and leave a few of them because these corners right here, I do want to make sure that I cut some of them shorter because I want to make sure that I fill in those corners. So I'm gonna cut this one short, and I'm gonna go right here. And then also in this corner, as you guys can see, because a pave style has to be very tight for it to be a pave style bouquet. So I'm gonna add this one right here on the corner and just go as tight as possible. And you just want that little peekaboo of greenery to pop off. And always remember to leave a few of them on the side of each, so that way we can go back and fill in the holes that we might need to fill in. All right, so then our next one is going to be the one that has both colors. So I have 3 stems of each. This one I have 4. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cut all of these guys all at once. And that's just the easiest way to do, you guys, because that way you don't waste any more time, especially if you are doing this for a living. Just prep all of your materials all at once. All right, so now I'm gonna continue with this flower right here, and that's what's gonna radiate that ombre style. This style is very popular with girls and ladies for hair. I love when they do an ombre style hair coloring because it really is really pleasing to the eye, as I said earlier. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these ones right here. You can give it a space because as much as you want it to be tight, you also want it to be airy. So you have to give it some space between the flowers like this. And look, it's just inserting flowers, you guys. It has no science whatsoever. All right, so I'm gonna leave that right there. So now I'm gonna bring the last flower, which is going to be this one. I have 4 of this one, I don't know why. When I purchased, I probably went crazy with this one, I liked it. All right, so I'm gonna do all 4 just to make sure this one is really tight on the end. And if you made it this far into the video, I cannot wait to read your comments, you guys. It is my favorite thing to do on Sundays when the video comes out, to just answer your comments and read your comments. It really gives me life, and it makes me feel like I am really doing what I'm supposed to be doing when I read your beautiful comments. All right, so now I'm going to insert this darker orange goldish one. I'm gonna start right here. And remember to do a row. Don't skip that step, because that's what's gonna give your bouquet of flowers. Look how absolutely gorgeous that is. And see, you see the graduation from clear all the way to dark. That is exactly what I wanted, and that's exactly what I want you to have in your home. You guys, really is all about creating beautiful decor that is affordable, beautiful, it has a wow factor, and you wait till we start with our Christmas series. I know we started with fall, right? But if you've been following this channel, you know that I am a Christmas fanatic. Christmas is my favorite time of the year, and I cannot wait to share all those beautiful DIYs with you. All right, so when you insert the foliage, like buy the foliage, make sure you skip the foliage so that way it really spills forward and out. So I'm gonna insert a few more of these. The corners, remember to always do the corners right here. And see how right here I feel like I have a hole. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go back and look for one of those flowers that I had, and there's another hole right here, right by the foliage. So I'm gonna go ahead and insert that flower right there. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. So beautiful. So now what I'm going to do is, to make it ombre, what you want to do is you want to have some of this color going through. So you want to do a zigzag or a snake motion. So I'm going to open right here and put another one right here, and then over on this side, and then over on this side. And I'm going to use the flash fill right here at the end. This is absolutely stunning. And so I have a few of these fall foliages, right, that I have left. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna also insert like this on the top, just to make sure that you have all the same foliage all throughout your bouquet. So just open some random places and insert your full foliage, or also you can do it right here on the perimeter of it. This side turned out so beautiful. Oh, this one did too. Look how absolutely beautiful it is, you guys. Super simple, super easy. Now here is, remember on my the rest of the projects I had a beautiful burlap bow, and so what I'm going to do now is I have these burlap foliages, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to open them. I'm not sure that I want to use them, but I'm going to try to use them. They come 5 out of package. Let's see what it looks like, because I'm not going to put a bow. Oh, absolutely. So it has this little stem right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add, oh my gosh, look how beautiful that is. Ramon, you're good. Look how pretty that is. So just a pop of this foliage, like that. Look at that. It just adds that burlap that we put on the rest of the projects, and that's what I'm talking about. The same product, or the same texture, but in a different product, right? The other ones were bows. These ones are foliages, but they're both burlap, and look at that. I'm gonna add one right here, like this. I'm gonna open my second one. And it's all about these little details. You know, if it was the holidays, I would glitter this. And so have glittered burlap foliage on a garland, or you can use it as a pick. So because I went like that, so I'm gonna go over this side now, like that. I'm gonna do a few on the top to make sure that it's all throughout. I put some on the ends, and as you can notice, on this end I made it spill this way, on this end I made it spill this way. I'm gonna go opposite now, because that one spills this way, because I'm gonna put one on the top. I have to go opposite, like that. Look at that. And so this one has to face this way. It's so simple, you guys. Just remember this. What happens on the right happens on the left. What goes up must come down. And I promise you, you'll always have a cohesive bouquet, arrangement, wreath, floral, Christmas tree, you name it. All right, so I'm gonna add the last one right here. I'm gonna clear in real quick, and I will give you a close-up, so keep watching. All right, so here is your close-up at this beautiful ombre floral arrangement for your table for fall. This is a fabulous fall DIY that I really recommend you give it a try. It is super simple to make. As you guys can see, it's super elegant. Whether you add the burlap foliages or not, Whether you do it ombre style or not, it is just as simple as inserting some flowers with a technique as I've given you. What happens on the left happens on the right. What goes up must come down, and you too can have a gorgeous arrangement like this for your table, for your coffee table, for an event, for a wedding. And this fall decorating has just begun here at Ramon at Home, and I cannot wait to come back with even more ideas.